Welcome to Football Miami TV. I am Uncle Ed. As you guys know, Pieter Brown is moving. Ricky Ricardo had to work, so it looks like I'm going to be all alone today. So, I'm trying to juggle things around and see what I can do. But oh, wait a second, Pieter Brown.
Hey, I decided to show up.
Wow, awesome.
I couldn't let you do it alone, Ed. I can't.
Well,
I mean,
that's
I
good
can't.
because I was worried, man.
No, I'm here in an empty house, so I'm sitting on the floor on a makeshift little table with suitcases and everything. But let's let's talk some soccer.
Let's do it. But before that, Pieter Brown, we should mention somebody, shouldn't we?
Yeah, we want to say a big thank you to our sponsor, Caneswear. Caneswear is a place you should all go to get your the best selection of Inter Miami gear. They're located in Davie. The store is open. Everybody is wearing their masks and doing the safe distancing and all that kind of stuff. Great place. And yes, I am in an echo chamber. One world, one goal. But go to Caneswear, get all your Inter Miami gear, great prices, and great friends of the show. So go check them out and support those that support us.
Yeah, guys, and another thing, we're gonna put up a picture of Peter's. Well, maybe not right now, right? You don't have
I,
access to that picture,
I can make it
but
happen.
but it's kind of funny because you guys got to totally check out Peter's arrangement right now. I mean, he's in an empty house, and that's why you guys probably hear that echo going on. But I think this is hilarious. You guys got to see that picture of Peter.
Yeah, we've got it sort of here a little bit. It's kind of hanging over your face a little bit, but you can see this is my makeshift studio here. Me on a couple of suitcases with a laptop.
That's cool. That's cool, Peter. Let me mention some of the people that are in the chat room, Peter. We've got Alex Z was the first guy that got on. We got Diego Garcia, Andres Hoyos, of course, one world, one goal. Yamila Munoz, Yami, good to see you. Judge Dredd, of course, Judge Dredd. Chris Arjun is also on. And so far, those are the people that have responded. Remember, guys, if you have any questions, put them on the chat. We're going to be trying to cover as much as we can, and we're going to be winging it quite a bit, aren't we, Pieter Brown?
Yeah, well, since today was moving day, I am not prepared, but that doesn't mean I don't have opinions. I always
Yeah,
have something to say.
you sure do. I'll tell you that much. But let's start off, Peter. The title is Inter Miami's heading to the MLS is back tournament. They're going to be taking off, I think, on Wednesday. They're headed up north to Orlando, your favorite place. You love Orlando
Yes, sir.
and Mickey Mouse and all that good stuff. So they're going to be going up there.
You know where they're going, Ed? They're going to the Corona capital.
That's what it is right now.
Pretty much. The
Wow.
the the numbers of the virus up in Orlando are, I mean, in all of Florida, but specifically in Orlando, it's going up and up and up. It's going
Wow.
crazy. I don't know if you saw that um, the Orlando Pride, the women's team,
Hmm.
had five or is it six players and four staff members come down with it.
Wow.
They had to pull out of the tournament
Wow. That sucks.
from the
No, I didn't
NWSL
see that.
tournament.
I didn't see that, but that's terrible, man. Um, we're hoping that none of that happens over here, but like you said, Florida is starting. All the cases are going up, so it's kind of worrying. But they're going to be all locked in one place, so that's going to be good. Can you
Yeah,
hear me,
for
Peter?
sure. Yeah, I can hear you. I decided to switch. I don't know.
Uh,
Does this sound better or worse?
well, we'll let the people put it down. It sounds a little bit different. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, well, I know it was sounding like I was in an echo chamber, so I was like, let me put in the AirPods and see if the AirPods sound any better. Um, I don't have any of my microphones available. They're all packed
Oh,
away. They're
well,
on
that's
the
cool. Let
they're
me
on the
mention
moving
a
truck.
couple. There's a lot of people starting to get on right now, so I'm going to mention a few. Gerardo Guerrero's on. Jet Pancake. Isaiah Paskins is on, and yeah, there's a lot of movement in the chat room right now, so we're gonna have to pay attention to them in a little bit.
All right, I'm on the chat for sure.
Cool, awesome, awesome,
So
possum.
one so they're headed up to Orlando on Wednesday. Ed, you
Yeah,
said.
yes. And there's been some changes to the rules for our group, for Group A. That's the group that has six teams in it, and we kind of had like a disadvantage because it was only going to be what people want you to take it off or what? Yeah, it's worse. Well, that happens. I saw you take those things off, and I'm like, okay. So
Echo
yeah,
chamber
Peter,
is
I was
better.
saying, oh, but I can't hear you now. Oh, okay. So I was saying that we kind of had a disadvantage because there was six teams in our group, and but now they're giving us three berths. So the first three teams will qualify automatically for Group A.
Yeah, that's good. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, perfect.
Great. Yeah, it's they made it a little bit easier for Group A because Group A, everybody, all pundits, everybody realized Group A is going to be the hardest group to advance out of, more teams, right? So they obviously people complained. They had to. They
Right.
didn't do it just out of the goodness of their heart.
Right.
Somebody complained
They're
and
not
made
that
it
nice.
and made enough noise so that they made this change. Uh, there you go, Judge Dredd the Law. I like what he had to say. Let's put his comment up. Pete had his buds on because he was listening to 80s metal bands and music, which we all know is the best.
The best ever. Yeah.
That's it.
Peter with his music. But so what do you think, Peter? But the thing that I'm wondering about, now we've got three teams going directly.
Mhm.
So the fourth team, does that qualify as a best third, or how does that work?
So the way I understood it, and I read an article out of The Athletic, who's a great source. The way I understand it, if I got this right, which that's my asterisk because I could screw this all up, but if I got this right, the fourth place team is in competition with the third place teams from the other groups, so that the best, the top three, I think it is, of the third place
Yeah.
go to the next round. So that fourth place team is in competition with those bottom three place teams, third place teams for moving on. So potentially, if I understand this correct, potentially Group A could have four teams move on to the next round.
Wow. So that's a cool thing.
Yeah,
That
that's great.
it's a
That's
big help for us.
mm-hmm.
So now I'm looking more. I think we have we obviously have a better chance, and I'm feeling more confident that Inter Miami is going to be in the second round.
Well, yeah, I thought we would end up being the third place team.
Right.
I want to be hopeful, right, for my team, but I
Mhm.
also want to be somewhat realistic. I don't know if we're going to be first or second place, unless we surprise everybody, right?
We're
But
an unknown. Yeah.
what, right? So, but realistically, I think we could potentially be a third place team. So
And
we're in then. We're into that round of 16.
awesome. And that's
If all goes well, of course.
Yeah.
I'm counting it as if they've already beat Orlando, right?
Yeah. That's a gift.
They've already beaten or tied Chicago. Yeah, I'm giving them that, and they probably lost to Philadelphia. That's where I'm going.
All right. That sounds cool. I'm going to go and say that Inter Miami is going to win all the games. The game against Orlando, we're going to kill them 5-zip, and the rest of them are going to be tight. Like Philadelphia, I think it's going to be a 2-1, and I think we can beat Chicago. I think we'll give them a 2-zip.
So when you say we're going to win all the games,
Uh-huh.
it sounds like you're just being a homer, just a blind homer.
Oh, I am totally a homer, dude. No shame here, man. I am big time Inter Miami, they're going to win. They're going to kick butt and they're going to win this tournament, and we're going to be champions of CONCACAF. So, and we're going to go to the World Cup of of clubs. That's how I'm feeling right now.
All right.
A lot of positivity right here, Peter.
Yeah, no, I'm positive too, but I battle that positivity with realistic. That's what I'm always battling with.
Well, at least you're not pessimistic like Ricky Ricardo, because he was telling us in the Spanish show. He was kind of like, I don't know if they're gonna pass. He's a little bit on the downer side, and he still believes that we're not gonna get a DP, even though Paul McDonough said that we were gonna get one. What do you think about that?
DP, well, I mean, we've heard some talk that they've been definitely talking to players, but the question is, I go back to, and I know I mentioned this previous show, when we talk about bringing in designated player, like that big Cavani level player, can they do that before this tournament? I mean, unless they already had that deal done, basically, and they were just waiting for a window to open.
Right.
So now we're talking about after the tournament, right? So
yeah, because I think they will, unless they surprise us and announce it this week.
But we've heard, you and I have both heard that they're talking to people.
Right.
And so the fact that the people they're talking to are DP level, they are the big sign. Right. And so if they're still talking, it's not happening before but by July 8th. So now, I mean, I want a player. We definitely need a player for after the tournament. But my eyes are really on this tournament right now. And who do we have for this tournament?
Yeah. Well, we could say who we do have. I mean, last week they were talking about Leandro Gonzalez Pires possibly coming. They haven't announced it, but that's like a huge rumor. It came out all over on the news, on Twitter. Everybody's talking about it. It could still happen. But we did get a new player.
Yeah, and that's what Diego Garcia wants to know, his thoughts on Brek Shea.
Yeah. Well, when I thought about Brek Shea, it seems like he's been around forever, but he's really not that old, Peter. I just looked him up.
I think,
he's 30 years old.
30, yeah. That's a young guy. But he's been playing for a long time, and I think he's got a lot of age on that young body.
Right.
So
you're right. It seems like he's been around forever, and I thought he was already like 34 or something.
Yeah. And we heard about him months ago training with Fort Lauderdale CF, the USL club, the League One club, and so obviously he was coming back from an injury, and he used the League One team to get his fitness level back and everything like that, and now he's signed with the first team, and I saw so many reactions about him, and some of those reactions were echoed in here. I'm trying to find where some of them are, but what I keep reading about are most people are just complaining like, oh, he's washed up. Yeah, here it is. Gerardo Guerrero says Brek Shea is washed. So I would maybe agree, but the one thing I think we need to focus on is, in every bit of news that came out of Inter Miami, they used the word depth.
Yeah.
When it came to Brek Shea, they just kept talking about depth. So that means he's sitting on the bench until somebody gets hurt, or unless he really impresses in practice. He's not coming into this team, in my opinion, to start.
Right.
So, and you need depth. So I don't think that's a bad depth player. He's had some good years. He's played at high levels in Europe. Didn't he play for what was it? Didn't he play? He played in England. Didn't he play for Stoke?
I'll tell you right now, Peter Brown. He played for Stoke City.
That's what I thought.
And then he went on loans with Barnsley and Birmingham City.
Okay, but even the lower divisions of in England soccer are better than what we have here, or competitive with, So, Judge Dredd is saying that people say he's washed up, but how old is Messi? Is he washed up? Well, let's not compare Messi and Brek Shea.
Yeah. Well, the thing, like you were mentioning, you were talking about, depth. He plays anything on the left. He's a left winger. He's a left back. I mean, he could cover everything on the left side. He got three positions that he could cover. So he's a guy that's going to come in handy. He could fill up that hole on the left.
Yeah, for sure. One World One Gold says sometimes when a guy is traded, he really ups his game. Let's hope Brek Shea does. Not only that, Brek Shea was injured, so
Right.
he wants to prove that he's not washed up.
Mm-hmm.
And some of you guys may know before we had an Inter Miami team, I did kind of loosely follow and cheer for FC Dallas.
Right.
And the history behind that is because I almost moved to Dallas about 12 years ago or something like that. So he was good when he was with Dallas.
Right.
And now that was the best version of Brek Shea I think we've ever seen.
Yeah. Because
Were those
after
Dallas
that, he went
years.
to Europe, didn't he? Right after that.
And that's when he was also playing with a national team and looking good. So if we could get just a little bit of that Dallas Brek Shea,
Mm-hmm.
we got something there.
You got
Look,
you got a good player.
They didn't
Yeah.
lose anything by getting him. Obviously, they had a roster spot. I don't know. I'd have to look and see how many. I didn't look up for this show how many positions we had and how many are available. I know we kept talking about we had 3 positions available, but
Right.
those were. I don't know if that's total roster spots or if that was just the high level players we're talking about.
That's a good question, man. They just mentioned that there were 3 spots. That's
Yeah.
what I heard from Paul McDonough said that.
Right.
You got 3 spots.
And let's be honest, if one of these players that we have sitting on the bench, if they want to free up a spot, let's say he uses up one of those 3 spots, and now we only have 2 spots left.
Mm-hmm.
They'll dump some guys.
Right.
They could easily, and I hate to say this about any of the guys that are with the team, but they could easily drop 1 or 2 of them to the USL squad, so
Mm-hmm.
that they can get some time.
So they can get some playing time. Yeah, because some of them aren't gonna play much.
Right.
Know?
Right.
That's just the way it is.
I like what Gerardo Guerrero says. I was good 12 years ago. Yeah. 12 years is a lot of time on somebody's body.
Especially for Pieter Brown. I mean, that still made you, pretty old. But
I was 12
years.
years ago. I was still older than Brek Shea.
Yeah. Yep. That's for sure. But yeah, I like what we've got. I mean, all these players. We just need, those 2 players that they're mentioning. I think Leandro Gonzalez Pires would be fantastic.
They got to announce him.
Yeah, just announce
Get it over
guy
the goal.
already, and then we'll wait for the DP. And hopefully it's that number 9 that everybody wants. That's the only thing that this team is missing right now. So,
Yeah, and I don't think we're getting it before this. I think we're done. I think for this tournament, maybe we get LGP.
So you think Ricky is right saying that we're not going to get a DP at all, or you think it's going to be after this?
After the tournament.
Gotcha.
I don't think we get one unless I know that they're going to open up the transfer window for some period of time, but I mean, these kind of deals take a long time, and if they're still talking to people,
Yeah.
these deals take a long time, so I can't imagine they get it done before the Orlando. Oh, the Orlando thing is only like 6 weeks.
Right.
I mean, it could take a lot more than 6 weeks to negotiate.
Right. I like what Mike Blitz just put up. He's like, "You're not gonna sell me on Shea." That's hilarious, man. Well, why not, man? I mean, tell me, he covers everything on the left-hand side. I think, that's huge. Not
Yeah.
everybody could do that.
I'm not trying to sell you on Shea. I'm just saying you don't lose anything by bringing him into the squad, right?
Mhm.
There's only potential positives, right?
Right.
What did you lose? He sits on the bench and he never gets on the field. He's not taking the spot of a designated player.
Yeah. So, Yeah, he's just gonna be there. That's all we can say. He's gonna
Yeah,
be there. And yeah, One World One Sports saying, yeah, we still need that number 9 and 10. She prefers Pizarro as a forward.
he could play it. I mean, but I don't know if he's an out and out striker. So maybe it's one of those things where we play with him right behind Carranza, and they're both playing up top. But he feeds Carranza and stuff like that. Maybe, I mean, and we're hoping that Carranza is as good as we hear because we haven't seen him play.
Right, right. We've heard from people that have practiced with him that they thought that he was the DP instead of Pellegrini. We haven't heard much about Pellegrini. I can't wait till, I think he was getting into his groove on the second game with DC United.
Yeah,
I think they all need to, get into the thing, and then, the potential is gonna, is still there, and so I'm looking forward to seeing what these guys have. This tournament's gonna, give us 3 good games at least. That's gonna show us who these guys are, and hopefully, we'll kick some butt.
yeah. Mike Blitz is also saying we spent $6 million, I think, on Carranza. So I don't know how getting a DP number 9 would conflict. James Rodriguez makes the most sense. So the names that we keep hearing over and over again that people want are now James Rodriguez, which that's more. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, he would play more midfield, right? And
Right.
and that way Carranza can do his thing and be that number 9 potentially.
Right. And I guess Pizarro would also he'd go up as forward as well, you know. So that would be interesting, yeah, because yeah, if you think about it, James is better at being the playmaker. So we'll see, man. I mean, I'll
Jeffrey,
take either one.
Jeffrey Reed has something interesting. He says Shea is perfect for our second game against the Fire. We can rest some guys for the Union game. Remember, this tournament is World Cup style, so we need guys well rested for a deep run. So that's interesting. Is putting in your like B team against Chicago. At the same time, I don't want to rest on Chicago. They're a little bit of an unknown as well because they're practically an expansion team.
Yeah, they started from scratch. They got rid of everything, and I don't think there are many players that are coming back from last season. So yeah,
would you trust putting Brek Shea in during this tournament, or do you just leave him on the bench in case somebody gets hurt?
it depends, man. I mean, right now we've got everybody's ready to play. So I think he's just going to stay on the bench. I think I'd leave him on the bench. Somebody gets hurt, he'll get in.
Because we're talking World Cup style, right? So
Yeah.
usually you do rest players and things like that, especially in your third game.
Yeah. And our third game's against the Union. That's going to be our
We're not
hardest
resting
game.
anybody on that game.
Yeah, that one we got to throw everything at them because those guys are good.
And so, and with that, I don't know if I would, because that means Chicago is our second game, and I wouldn't rest people on my second game because that's a must win.
Right. The 2 first games are must wins.
Right.
They need to beat Orlando. They need to beat Chicago. So
I would not do what Jeffrey Reed is saying. I would keep him on the bench unless he's really, really good and impressing in practice. We're going off of what we last saw, and what we last saw, leave him on the bench. Remember, everybody, he didn't make it in Orlando, and we make fun of Orlando all the time.
Right. We don't want them to say we're getting rejects over here.
We already
But he did go to Atlanta, though.
He did,
Right.
but he didn't last long there either.
Oh, he got injured, right?
Yeah.
So I think he still has it. And we got to see what happens with the tournament. But like you said, I don't think he's probably going to play this tournament unless somebody gets hurt.
Here's a crazy question, but fun. Crazy but fun. Jose Velasquez, Young 305 Easy says, do you guys think Cristiano Ronaldo will sign with Inter Miami for next year?
Ooh, man, that would be awesome.
I mean, those are the kind of players they promised us, right?
Right.
But then reality hit, and we haven't gotten any of them. So,
Yeah, but these guys want to come. That's the thing. A lot of these older players, but Cristiano's still playing great. You know, he could stay. Any team in Europe's still going to pick him up. He's like what 35 now or something. Zlatan came over here, tore it up, and he went back to Europe. So I mean, that tells you something. These guys are in great shape. Ronaldo's still in great shape. So it's going to be so difficult to get him over here unless he's tired and and he says, to his wife, all right, you know what, I'm done. Let's go to Miami. Any team in Major League Soccer would love to have him because, he's going to sell jerseys no matter what, Peter.
Yeah,
They're going to make their money back on jerseys.
big time. That would be
Yeah.
huge.
Him or Messi will sell everything.
I mean, if you want, I always talk about getting a DP that is not just a player, but as a marketing tool. That is the best marketing tool.
Right there.
Right there. Everybody will be interested to go see. The guys will go see because he's a great player. The girls will go see just so he rips off his shirt.
Right. And anything that he does on the field is going to be. I mean, he can't even spit right. Because if he spits, they're going to criticize him. Anything that he does out there, is going to be criticized.
Yeah. Mike Blitz says David Silva is another option as well as a playmaker, and if I'm not mistaken, he said he does not want to go against Man City, so he may just leave Europe. I actually was watching a little bit. I only watched a few minutes today, but of Man City playing in the FA Cup, I think it was, and right. David Silva was playing. It was against Newcastle.
Okay.
In an empty stadium, the fake crowd noise. They're doing just like Germany did.
Yeah.
But he was playing.
What do you think about that? The fake noise.
My wife was listening. I was like, "What do you think about that crowd?" And she goes, "Yeah, in that empty stadium."
Even she noticed it, huh?
Yeah. I don't mind it though. It does add a little ambiance. I don't mind it. I have to shift a little, guys. I'm sitting on the floor and my bony butt hurts.
Yeah, of course. So, if you guys didn't get a catch Peter's setup, if you go to the beginning of the video, of this video, you'll get to see how Peter's sitting right now.
Here, I can throw it up here. I can throw it up here again.
Yeah, do it.
Yeah,
those that didn't see it.
My makeshift studio here. Two suitcases and a laptop.
Awesome. Yeah, that's got to hurt, man. Especially if you're like in that same position for the next, for another half an hour. That's gonna.
Well, it was either this, and I know this room is echoey. It was either this, or if I went down in my living room area, I have like a countertop I could put it on. But that room is super echoey because there's nothing. Yeah. There's no furniture.
The room's probably better.
There's no furniture. I figured a small room might be better.
Yeah, and there's nothing in there except you and the computer and your tush on the floor.
That's it. That's it.
That's cool. So what else do we have, guys? There's like we said, the team's going to be sent off on Wednesday because I think Wednesday is the last day. All the teams need to show up by July 1st, I think.
Yeah, Orlando is already there. And that's funny. To me, at least, it was funny that Orlando is already there. And you could say, well, of course they're already there. They live there. But they still have to enter the bubble just like everybody else. And so I thought since they don't have to travel,
right,
they might enter the bubble last.
Right.
Because keep everybody local, keep everybody still seeing their families.
Well, they should have, but I think they're already in there.
I know. They already entered the bubble.
Oh, okay.
Them and San Jose are already there.
Yeah.
And if I remember correctly, San Jose needs to join the bubble quickly because they weren't able to practice as much as other teams. Mm-hmm. They started their practicing a lot later than everybody else.
Yeah.
Judge Dredd was asking if this is a Darth Vader shirt. Yes. It's Darth Vader sipping on a coconut.
Nice.
Darth Vader sipping on a coconut telling...
How could he sip? I mean... I always thought about that, Peter. How did he eat? I guess he took off his whole...
Well, look, Ed. He's sipping on a coconut.
Yeah, but where's the straw going? I can't see it too well.
It's right here. He's sipping on a coconut, and he's telling Luke he's on vacation.
Hilarious, man.
All of my Inter Miami shirts packed away.
Yeah, that's
So,
funny, man. But yeah, I was always wondering how Darth Vader would eat. I guess he'd have to take off
well,
his
I mean,
mask and
we saw in Empire Strikes Back, he took off his helmet and he was in his little egg,
yeah,
right? And then, they see him putting on his helmet and stuff. So, maybe he sits in his little egg, eats,
and lunches, yeah.
lunches
Orders
on
in
his
some
cheeseburger.
Chinese, or maybe he likes sushi or something, and you know,
So
orders
what
some
is
of that.
Darth Vader's favorite food? Is it sushi? I was saying cheeseburger, and you went sushi.
Well, he seems like a sophisticated fella,
He's
so
got he's got a more sophisticated palate.
yeah, I would think so. But maybe he's just a hamburger guy like you, Peter.
But think about it: is his palate can't be very sophisticated. He got burned to a crisp. Man, his
Yeah,
his taste buds are fried.
probably. You're probably right. So
He
whatever
doesn't
he
taste
eats,
anything. He's probably
tastes good.
drinking smoothie, disgusting stuff.
Could be. Yeah, they probably just yeah, they probably make him some shakes and he drinks
That's
it.
it. Liquid meals.
Yeah,
Nasty.
that's poor guy, man. Poor guy. But Peter, going a little bit off of the soccer that we usually do. I don't know if you saw. I know you're a comic book fan like I am. If you got to see a little bit of the boys, did you ever see that? It's a superhero show.
Yeah,
They
I
had
liked
like a
it.
preview. Did you check it out?
I did. I saw it. It was a real short, but I'm excited for season two. That was a very unique take on superheroes. I liked it.
Yeah, yeah, evil. They're all evil, and then now they've got this girl that's gonna be part of the team. I don't know if you guys have watched it. She in the comic book, she's actually a guy. So this is interesting to see how they're gonna play this whole thing out. And apparently, she's one like real, it's almost as powerful as the main guy. So it's gonna be interesting how it develops. But sorry, guys, I had to do the geek thing for a little bit. You know.
Yeah. Speaking of bringing it back home, Chris Arjun writes, marketing question for anybody. This is interesting. I thought, being that we may not even get to wear the team jerseys at the stadium this season, will we have to fork out for another one next season? So teams, normally, I think they're normally create new shirts like every 2 years,
Hmm.
right? So we wouldn't have to worry about a new shirt next year, anyways, unless you wanted to buy a new shirt for because it's going to have a jersey sponsor
That's
eventually.
probably what's gonna happen.
Eventually,
Right.
I don't think they would have a brand new shirt next year, regardless. But
Right.
you might see a lot of teams freeze that for another year just because of this whole thing that we're in.
Right. Right. I don't know, man. We're gonna see. Well, look, they're asking. Wow. Thanks, Judge. He's saying, "Wow, Ed, your geek just showed, and it was amazing." Peter and I could probably do a show on just all the comic book stuff and Disney stuff that he talks about all the time. I'll make fun of his Disney stuff, but yeah, there's so much to talk about sometimes.
So, well,
Uh,
okay, let's do that for a second.
well, wait. They're asking about Miami Freedom Park. When are they going to build it?
Never. It's never going to get built. So, anyways,
Let's go back to the geek stuff.
no. I mean, we talked about it a little bit last week. The positive movement was that they filed for some moving forward with some rezoning permits. So there's some forward progress, but they also were quick to state the city officials were quick to state that we are a long ways away. We are very, very early stages still. So I think you're talking 3, 4 years. I'm thinking 4.
It could be the way that things go in this town. Unfortunately, you might be right, Peter. That's just the way it is. But the good thing is we've got a place to play, so I don't mind. I'm used to driving up. I used to go during the Fusion games. I used to go with the Strikers games. So for me, it's no problem. I can go up to Fort Lauderdale without a problem.
Yeah, there's going back to jersey sponsors. One World, One Goal was saying you can see the poster at Publix sponsored by Pringles and Cheez-Its that you can win a jersey. Peter new sponsors. Yeah, there's a bunch of new sponsors within the team that they just don't announce. There's a Dunkin' Donuts connection. I've
Yeah.
seen that on their app. There's the Good Greek Moving Company. Seen they do like a moving little article once a week or something. There's several of them, Publix, but I don't think any of those are your jersey sponsor level sponsorships. They're your lower level sponsorships, but are super important. All these sponsors, I mean, getting Pringles and Cheez-Its and all that, and Publix, all that, those are awesome. Publix also sponsors Orlando City, by the way. So they're gonna be some sort of sponsor for all the teams, but
Right.
not to the level of Jersey. I don't think any of those. I mean, it'd be funny to have the Pringles guy on our shirt.
That could
That'd be
could
kind of
happen.
fun.
But we also have, Burger Kings in Miami,
That
so
makes
maybe they'll
sense.
put like a big old burger, right in the middle of the jersey or something.
You got to put the Burger King, the Burger King that looks a little freaky. The big
Hmm.
the big
Oh,
the big
yeah.
rubber head looking.
Thing, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
dude. That that would sell.
that could be our mascot.
It could be.
That's a thought.
Ah, it's an idea.
How
I
many
mean,
teams in MLS have actual mascots?
I don't know.
And are we going to have one?
Florida mascot.
Orlando has a mascot. They've got their lion.
Right.
I think LA has one. Galaxy, I think, have one.
Yeah, they got some Cosmo, I think his name is, or something like that.
I know Chicago Fire have one. FC Dallas have
I
one.
didn't see one at LAFC. I didn't see one.
I think the older teams have them.
Yeah.
Orlando is not an older team, but they do have one. So the reason I'm asking is when I said mascot, makes me wonder: are we gonna see at some point? Are we gonna see a heron guy walking around?
That could happen. I mean,
And
the,
do we
the Herons.
and do we want that, or are you looked upon as less of a serious club?
With a mascot?
Yeah.
Ah, well, they definitely didn't have any. I don't think we're gonna get one this season. That's for sure. So maybe it'll be next season. They'll come up with something. Talk about mascots. There you go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm trying to. Now he walks away. My
Yeah.
dog was sitting over here. He's got his bed right here. Right, we got
Mhm.
his bed, and he's sitting next to me, and he's sitting there spinning around, trying to get comfortable, scratching and stuff like that, and crying, like getting mad that he can't get comfortable.
Man, and so he just left.
Then he just left, and he's back. But anyways, I thought it was funny.
That is funny, man. That's cool. So
So, anyways, do you want to see a sponsor? I'm sorry, a mascot. Do you want us to have a mascot, Ed?
I don't think we need one. Honestly, I don't think we need one.
I think
We're not
it'd be
gonna get
fun.
one this year.
I think it'd
You
be
know.
fun.
No. Of
Well, we're
course.
not getting one this year, clearly, but maybe for
Yeah.
next year.
Now, what I would like is like if we do get a heron, so he can beat up on the lion. That'd be kind of funny.
It's the mascot fighting.
That would be cool. People would pay for that.
Yeah, and I know a guy that wears mascot costumes. I know
Yeah.
I'm friends with Hotshot.
Yeah.
The old Strikers mascot. I'm friends with
Yeah.
Hotshot. We could get him in a heron costume, like
Yeah.
like that.
He'll do it. That's his thing.
Yeah, we can make that happen.
Yeah. That'd be good to see him. To see him in a costume again. That'd be great. But yeah, everybody saw the dog, so they're mentioning that kids would like the heron.
Yeah, Mike Blitz says
Hotshot
mascots
is
are
a
good
great
for the
guy.
kids. Yeah, so
So yeah. But what are you doing here? Getting the mutt?
I'm getting the mutt.
Oh, there he is.
There he
He's
is.
cute. He looks like a handful. Those things are usually pretty annoying, aren't they?
Oh yeah, he's annoying. You love him and you hate him. You know, he just wants to go down though. He doesn't want to. He's just like, I don't want to be on this thing. I don't want to be involved.
And look, Judge Dredd is saying that who could be a mascot for the group for the team? El Diablo.
I don't get
Remember
it.
that dude?
I don't.
Diablo.
Yeah, the soccer player.
The hooligan. No, the hooligan guy.
Oh God, that idiot.
Yeah. Well, he watches this show, so he's gonna be like, "What?
I
Peter
know
just called me an idiot."
I know we've talked to him, but I mean his antics are a little silly.
Well, watch out! I'm gonna bring him on the show one of these days, and you guys are gonna have it out.
Come on, bring it on. I'm a big mouth behind the microphone.
Yeah. Well, we'll do it live somewhere, so you guys are right there. I'll be right between you guys, and hold you off each other.
Yeah. Judge Dredd says the hooligan. Yeah, I don't know, the fake hooligan. I don't know.
But anyways, Peter, do we have anything else to add to this? I'm looking forward to this tournament to finally beginning, man. We got another week to go.
I'm excited. The one thing that it's good. It sounds like most of the games are going to be on ESPN and not ESPN Plus, which stinks for me because I have ESPN Plus. So that means I'm going to have to pay for ESPN for a month so that I could see this tournament or something. Because I have to watch it.
Yeah, you can't miss it.
But
what's going to be weird, Peter, is that some of the games are early. There's the one that's on July 14th against Chicago is going to be at 9 a.m.
9?
9 in the morning.
I thought they were at 8.
Right, well, the first game against Orlando is going to be at 8 p.m.
No, p.m., but I thought the morning games were at 8 or 8:30. It
says 9 a.m. right here.
Okay.
Yeah. And then
hey, look, that works for me. I just I put it. I got to be, my wife reminds me, I got to be careful what I say because people I work with watch this.
And they're going to be like, "Oh, Peter said that he's going to be watching it while he's supposed to be working."
Yeah, put it on the TV in the background. But I could I can manage that. The only problem is in the morning I have a lot of meetings, and so obviously I can't watch it during my morning meetings. I can't even have it on in the background. But
yeah. Well, yeah. Right now, one of the guys is mentioning Dan the Destroyer 21. He's saying I only have matches available on TUDN.
Yeah, so
Spanish.
Yeah.
Thing. So you might want to do that, but apparently they don't have. That's just on the last game. I don't see them transmitting. The game against Orlando or Chicago. At least it's not here on the app.
Yeah, and from what I understand, the replays will be on ESPN Plus like the next day or a day after. But I'm going to want to see them live. And normally that works fine for me because I don't care if I watch, say, a Chicago Fire New England game 2 days later. I don't care. Normally in the normal season, but during this tournament, I want to see every game like it's a World Cup. I'm on pins and needles waiting to watch every single game. But going back to some of our nonsense, I like what Chris Arjun wrote. Can we get the Spice Girls to be cheerleaders if the mascot falls through? Tell me what you want, what you really, really want.
Oh man, that was corny. Yeah, but you know what? They're in their 40s already, man. So
Yeah, but
they're okay for like you and me. But all the younger kids are going to be like, what are these viejas doing there? These old ladies doing there?
I mean, you're gonna say some young 20-year-old guy is not gonna look at David Beckham's wife and go, "Wow."
Well, yeah, I guess
And my daughter in the background here, who just entered the room. See, since I'm in moving mode, there's no rules in this house. Dogs just show up, kids just show up. But she's over here saying, the kids know who the Spice Girls are. Let's get them.
They do. Oh, she knows though. Yeah.
She's
Hero was thinking they didn't know.
No, she's 15. So why not do that's the thing. Maybe that's how you christen the Lockhart Stadium. And that's with the Spice Girls post-game reunion concert.
Look at that. That would be huge.
It'd probably be too big for that stadium. But
yeah, I agree.
How good would that be?
They'd fill up that stadium twice, I think.
Yeah.
That's cool, man.
So
what else you got?
One goal says, love the Spice Girls, they still rock. So you know what's going on? These guys are talking about doing wanting to do a Zoom watch party for these early morning games.
Uh-huh.
You know how to do
Well,
you know how to make that happen?
yeah, we could definitely do that. I know the Southern Legion was planning on doing something like that because they wanted to do watch parties, but now, with everything that's happening, it looks like they're closing up, most of the bars and stuff that we used
Because
to go
people can't
to.
follow the rules.
Yeah, so I went to one of these places, and they can't do it. I asked them, and because the city will get on them because of that. I know they wanted to do it up in America's Got Soccer up close to you,
Yeah.
by the stadium, and they can't do it either. So it looks like we're going to be stuck doing Zoom parties, watching it at home, and
Commenting on Zoom.
hanging out. Yeah,
All right. I like
and singing our chants on Zoom.
I like what Mike Blitz says. If you get J Lo in a cheerleader outfit, the men of Miami will come there. There won't be any space. Don't matter her age.
That's true.
Hey, David Butler is here. Greetings from England. Welcome, David. Nice.
Wow.
All the way from England. Nice.
Very
Superior
cool.
7 is saying that Inter Miami is going to win their first match. I bet you are right.
I think you were right.
Because that
I
is
think
Orlando, and I think that is a winnable game for sure.
yeah. I think any game against Orlando is winnable, and I don't think they're gonna advance to the second round because they never have, and I
Why
don't
start
think they will
now?
in this one.
Why start
Either.
now?
Well, I'm just saying because they haven't won anything. I mean, they've never been in the postseason ever. So this is their chance. I mean, 3 games. If it's the closest they're gonna get, I think.
And they've got a new coach as well, so they're still learning their new system. So that's
Right.
that's and he's a good coach, has a lot of MLS experience and all that, as playing and coaching, but he's new to the club, so it's going to take him a little time probably to turn things around. So we could take advantage of that.
Right. And one word, one sport is asking, what they would call this rivalry. Well, it hasn't even started yet. We're trying to spice it up by, saying we're going to beat them or whatever. But these things and these names take, time. And Peter, I think you threw some names to the Turnpike. What was it? Did you say?
I don't even remember. We threw out so many names.
Yeah.
But one I saw pop up, and I think it might have been our friend Franco Panizo. I didn't listen to his most recent podcast, but it saw it in the title, and I think he called it like Sunshine Classico.
Uh-huh.
It's not funny,
Right.
but it makes sense.
Right.
And I tend to like funny,
Right.
but they're not going to go
Yeah.
there was the people are calling it El Tropico.
Oh, El
I like
Tráfico,
that.
yeah, because instead of El Tráfico that they call the LA
Yeah.
one, I think that's what they call it.
I like
They
it,
hate
but
the one in that name for that. At least the LAFC guys hate that name.
yeah.
Every time somebody mentions that, they're like, no, they come up with a different name.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
look, the team's not going to want to embrace El Tropico because it's silly. But I think
is
it's
silly.
hilarious. I love it.
El Tráfico.
So, but I mean, something like Sunshine Classico or Sunshine Cup, that's probably where it ends up. Somewhere kind of generic, a little boring, but it makes sense.
Yeah. David Butler's asking, can Miami win from the get-go for this mini tourney? Because do we have enough quality? Yeah, I think we do. I think we've got a lot of depth. We mentioned earlier what we need is that number 9, that goal scorer, which is I think the only thing we're missing right now.
Yeah, I'd say we got lucky with our draw. So that's in favor. We're still a young guy. Do we have enough quality? There's so many question marks. We don't know. So, but if you look at that DC United game, they looked really good. It was an improvement over LAFC. Granted, DC United's an easier team than LAFC, but you saw progress. So I think there is definitely quality, And on top, is there enough quality to win a league? Who knows? But we got lucky with playing against Orlando and Chicago. So
Right.
I think we're in decent shape there. I think we got a fortunate draw.
If we don't pass, it's go to the next round. It's I'm going to be disappointed because, like you said, we've got the opportunity right there. We get those two wins. Philadelphia's going to be more difficult to beat, but it's doable.
All right, here we got a super chat. Thank you, Mike Blitz, for the super chat. He's asking who is a better player, Rodolfo or Nani?
Oh, Rodolfo. I mean, Rodolfo's in his prime. Nani's on his way down. You know, in my opinion, he's still a great player. Don't get me wrong, but Rodolfo's up and coming. He's still hungry, and Nani's basically ready to go to Disney World and you know hang out with the family, which
Yeah,
he's probably done a lot.
I think Nani's still good. He's still got quality. He just never had anybody around enough good people around him. So that's a big part. Is if you're putting too many eggs in one basket. So who's better, Rodolfo or Nani? I mean, I think Rodolfo. You know,
Nani's 72 years old. He's old. Yeah, he's up there. He's still got maybe a couple more years. I don't know exactly how old he is.
yeah, yeah. So with that, Pizarro is younger, and you got to like that.
So yeah,
So thanks so much for that super chat, Mike.
thanks, Mike. You're the best.
The chemistry must have improved, is what Superior 7 is thinking. Yeah, I would think by now they've had time to get to know each other. They're not playing on the field a whole lot. They just started, but they spent so much time in the Zoom chats and getting to know personalities, and that plays that goes a long way.
Yeah, they need to. I think from what I've heard, they're pretty united, and they've all been in contact, like you said, a lot. They practiced, via Zoom when they can, when they couldn't get together. But recently, they've been practicing as a team now. So hopefully and they've got a couple more weeks of training to go, a week and a half, right?
Yeah,
More of training, so that they're going to be doing in Orlando. So that'll be interesting to see, how well they can play together.
young Jose Velasquez, young 305 Easy. That's a long name. What happened? Is there a fight versus Orlando? Like Rodolfo pushed Nani and start fighting with someone's players? No, we're just picking on Orlando because they're
Yeah,
because they're going to be our rival, right? So we're starting the rivalry now. We're starting the fight right here.
right.
We're throwing that first punch.
hmm Well, we need to win that first fight.
Yeah. Otherwise, we gonna eat all those words.
Yeah, and they're going to be messing with us big time.
Yeah. Good question from Dan Destroyer. You think Vela going? That's a good question. I mean, they talked about his wife being pregnant and having to be in this bubble for 6 weeks. So I don't know.
Yeah,
And,
I haven't heard about that.
yeah, I know.
I would imagine he is, though. I would think he is, but
I lean towards no.
really, I don't know how far along his wife is, though. That's something we could probably look up.
She is not that far along, but
Uh-huh.
because I remember on one of the shows I kept messing up the timeline. They got pregnant sometime in April, I think.
hmm
So it's not that far along, but still, I know what it was like when my wife was pregnant, and I was there at every single doctor's appointment. It didn't matter if it was the first one or the last one.
She got you. You were cooking, and you were, pampering her and doing all the everything.
A
Right?
little bit,
Washing the clothes.
but I'm just mainly talking about going to the doctor's appointments.
Oh, okay. No, but I'm just saying,
I, I,
just
I didn't do that much work, but a little bit.
you didn't cook for her.
A little bit. She's a better cook than I am.
Oh, wow. You should have had her like, in bed resting.
For 9 months,
Yeah.
dude, that's a
What?
long time.
I don't know, man. I just thought that you were like that, but yeah, I see how you are.
That's a long time, man.
9 months. Yeah.
David Butler says you guys got to find your Joseph Martinez, right? Even we know Martinez over here. Goals win games at the end of the day. You are right, and we got the right guy in charge, Paul McDonough, to find that player. He helped find Joseph. So yeah, we definitely need that type of player, and we're hoping that someone like Pellegrini or Carranza or even Pizarro are that player. Right, not Pizarro as much because people already know him, but I guess more Carranza and Pellegrini.
Yeah. Let's see what's up. Oh, you see what Alex Z put up?
So I'm reading that. Hey Pete, can you switch camera positions next time? Watching on my phone, and your pretty skinny vegan face keeps getting covered by the chat. Next time, have Ed's face covered. All right.
Oh man, look at that. He doesn't want to see my ugly mug.
Here we go.
Your ugly.
Here we go. We can move it. No problem. Let's see. Let's bring it up again. There we go. Right there.
Switching it over?
Right there. It's now over Ed's. There you go, Alex. Just for you.
There you go. So you can see that pretty face.
Vegan face, which I'll tell you, since I've spent this week preparing to move, forget about any kind of healthy eating. Since I'm moving out of, here's the thing, I'm moving out of this neighborhood, right? And everybody probably, I think I'm no different than a lot of people. You've got your like local pizza place, right? You've got your pizza place in your neighborhood that you love, right? Now I'm not talking about Domino's or Papa John's or anything like that. Your local pizza place. So I've got that local pizza place here at Poppy's Pizza, the best pizza around here. So I had to have that today because this is my last day in this neighborhood because I'm going to move. And so, I had to go get this big, messy pizza today. So no vegan stuff. I gorged myself on some pizza.
Nice. Man, now you mentioned pizza. I think I'm going to order me a pizza or something. I'll go out and get me something.
Of course.
Thanks.
Of course, tomorrow, I'll go back to having salad.
Kind of broke up there.
No, I was saying, of course, tomorrow, I will go back to having salad.
Well, all right.
That boring,
that'll work.
Boring stuff.
That's cool.
All right. Is the match going to take place in a stadium or like a... So Dan Destroyer is saying, is the match going to take place in a stadium or like a small field? It's a small field. It's got a few stands there at the Disney Sports Complex, but it's going to look like a preseason game. They hold a lot of preseason games there, actually, tournaments and stuff like that. So it'll have some small stands that'll be empty, stadium. But it's going to be basically some fields. So it's going to be interesting to see, how ESPN broadcasts these games or films these games. They keep talking about using some new technology, and how are they going to make this feel like a big time event instead of a little thing at a sports field? Like how are they going to make it look better than a USL game? Because games that are played at the Disney Sports Complex generally look like a USL game. It's not the best lighting. It's okay. It's not the best camera angles. It's not the best, stadium. Nothing. It's serviceable, just like a USL game. So how are they going to kick it up that extra notch and really make it feel like a real prime time event that they're hoping it to be? That'll be interesting.
Well, where was that league? I think it was the Korean league. They put up like some dolls.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
See that.
Yeah,
they could do that. That'll be interesting.
Well, what the Spanish league. I talked about this a few weeks ago. The Spanish league is working with EA Sports, and they're going to put digital fans in the stands.
Oh, that is cool.
So
I wonder how that's going to work.
I'm interested in seeing it. When does the Spanish league come back?
I'm not sure, man. I haven't really been following lately.
Yeah, I just read an article about the technology, and they're specifically working with EA Sports, and they're going to put use the same algorithms basically that they use for the FIFA games and fill the stands on a real live game with digital fans. I'm excited to see what that looks like.
Wow, that'd be really cool. Now I want to see those games.
Yeah. I at least watch one to see what it looks like. Yeah. Now MLS is not going to go that far. That's got to be big money to do that. But they did talk about playing using some sort of new technology. Who knows what that is?
Oh, see, like Mike's saying, the Spanish league's been back.
Oh,
They've,
really?
they've been, yeah, I thought they've been playing. Yeah, they played today, as a matter of fact.
Huh. So
Yeah,
again,
we're kind of lost.
if it's
Yeah.
not on ESPN Plus, I usually don't get to see it. I watched some Italian. I've watched some German, but that was on, a little while ago. Um, I watched a little bit of the FA Cup, so I didn't know the Spanish League was back. All right.
Yeah, look at that.
Well, guys, that's an hour.
Yeah, we thought we were gonna do a little short, but Peter could talk. Man, you're such a talker, dude.
I enjoyed. This was a nice break from my craziness the last week.
Hmm.
This morning, the movers got to the house 2 hours earlier than they were supposed to, so it was a mad rush. Like, holy cow, you're early, and let's tape up the last few boxes and get everybody moved out of the way. And it was like a mad rush. If you didn't know, Ed, I'm a little bit of a control freak.
You kind of are. Mm-hmm.
And
I
so,
noticed.
I was driving my family a little bit crazy this morning. And
Oh man.
so this right now was a nice, fun break to talk with all you guys in the chat and talk with you, Ed. So this was good therapy for me.
Good. Now you got to get back to moving.
Back to moving. So tomorrow morning we are out of this house. Monday night we got to stay in a hotel, and then Tuesday we're in our new house.
Wow. Well,
And then I'll start setting up the new studio.
that's what I was gonna get. I was gonna ask you about. You're gonna set up the new studio. Do you have a place for it, or is the wife kicking you outside?
So I have two options. I'm going to have an office in the house, but it's small. So I might try to organize the desk to where I'm sitting at a desk, kind of doing the show,
Right.
and do it like that. And then my other option is to kind of use part of the garage and put a green screen up in the garage, and put that couch that I sit on maybe in part of the garage, and put a green screen down. So I don't know. I've got options. I gotta play around.
That'd be kind of cool because you could put some cool images behind you.
I can make it look like I'm at the stadium.
Exactly. That's cool.
So I don't know.
It
We'll
beats
see.
sitting on the floor.
It beats sitting on the floor. I will have a stool at least, or a couch, or something. So I'm not going to next week. Make sure everybody watches what you guys are going to do the Tuesday show, right?
Right. Spanish show. We're going to be doing it. I think we're going to have another one of the supporters. I think it's going to be Southern Legion this time.
Okay.
Don't know who yet. I think it might be the president or one of the members. We'll see.
All right. And then on Thursday, I'm not sure if we'll do anything on Thursday or not. Maybe yes, maybe no. And then on Sunday, we should be back. I don't know if I'll have my new studio set up, or it may look like something like this, a blank wall. But we'll still be able to do the show.
Sounds good.
All right, guys. Well,
to the setup.
Thanks so much for everybody for joining. David Butler is a neutral. Here, one last thing, because he's been very involved, and I love it. Good luck, guys. As a neutral, I'm excited to see Miami evolve, and pink is a unique color. We need to convince you, David Butler, to not be a neutral and to buy in and have us as your American team.
There you go.
Just like how most Americans have an English team or a European team, Inter Miami needs to be your American team.
Exactly. I like that.
But thanks so much for watching. Thanks for watching it from England, David. Thanks for everybody in the chat. The chat was very active. Really appreciate it. And we will see you next week. Bye, guys.